So now we're going to go ahead and get started with the process. So Brett, while I'm going to wash the right side of your face with the cleanser, I'm going to give you a pump on one of your hands, on the back of your left hand. What I want you to do, I want you to take your right hand and rub it in all into your fingers, knuckles, hand, just until it disappears. Okay? And this is our cleanser. It's got that ageLOC in it that I talked about. All right, so you go ahead and work on that. I'm gonna go ahead and wash the right side of your face. Okay?
All right.
And I use my soft fingers, my middle finger and my ring finger, to go ahead and rub this in. And this is actually an important part because I've actually seen people's face start to lift even with the cleanser. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I rub it in really good to his smile line, because that's where I want to see a big result, and under his eyes. And so you want to be careful when you're going under people's eyes, but also you can be a little aggressive rubbing this in, not too much. And I'm going to rub it all the way in to his cheek, especially up here on the forehead. I'm going to go over his eyebrow, really get this stuff rubbed in well. Alright. So now that we've got this all on here, I'm going to go ahead and give him, if he has the face towel, I'm going to say, okay, just go ahead and kind of wipe that cleanser away. Or if we have the baby wipes, I'll say, okay, Brett, go ahead and just wipe some of that cleanser away. And when you're doing that, you always want to use upward motions, by the way. So we never want to help out gravity. Okay, he's kind of got that. You don't have to get all of it off, just so that it's not foamed up there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and spread the clear gel on for you. We talked about this is the first treatment that we do. And I'm going to use, the machine's not going to be on, I'm going to use it kind of like a spatula. So I'm going to put the gel on here, then I'm just going to spread it on your face, okay? Yeah. And when you're doing these half-face demos, you want to go ahead and use the entire vial of gel, because the more gel, the better. You don't want to get to a point where it's drying up. So right now the machine's not on, I'm just spreading it on his face, and I'm just laying it on there. Kind of like you're frosting a cake, just lay it right on there. Alright, you don't want to rub it in, and definitely get down here on the neck as well. So now that I've got all that in, now we're going to go ahead and get it started. Okay. So Brett, the way that we're going to go ahead and start this is that I'm going to give the back of the machine a few sprays. I'm going to set the machine. I'm going to set it to level 1. So 1 is what we use for the clear gel. I'm going to put it in your hand, and you're going to Pac-Man that right on the back of the metal plate, and I'm going to have you push that right into the fatty pad on your cheek. Nice and firm, right? So I'm going to set it, give it to you, you're going to push it in, you're going to hear some beeps. Once it beeps, then I want you to hand the machine to me. You and I will then grab left hands, alright? And then you can sit back and relax, alright? Okay. So I'm just going to spray this a few times like that. I'm going to set it to level 1, and I'm going to put it in his hand, and I'm going to have to push it right into his cheek, nice and firm. Perfect. And now you can hand it to me, and now you can do that, and now you can relax. Okay, so now we're going, and I usually start at the neck. So I like to get down here and use kind of like what we call the eraser technique, like if you have a pencil eraser, and just kind of going up and down, or like I know Brett says, like you're vacuuming, you just want to hit every area of the room, right? So I'm just kind of going up. I'm going to use more pressure on the way up than I would on the way down to kind of really create that lift. And I'm going to pull back under the earlobe. There's actually a lymph node right underneath where our earlobe sits that'll help drain any fluid right into that lymph node. So I spend a little bit of time on the neck, then I like to come up, and around the mouth and the upper lip I use the horseshoe technique. So I'm going to go kind of like in a motion like this. And if you have your own, it's really good to go over your lips because it keeps them nice and plump, juicy, kissable, all that stuff. However, I usually don't go over someone's lips in a demo because it doesn't taste very good. And then I spend a lot of time here on the smile line, and I even just hold it right here on the smile line for, you can hold it for 10, 15 seconds, and then really work that in, because that's going to be a place where we can see a big difference. And then I'm going to move it right up here to the crow's feet area, and I'm going to kind of pin a little bit of that skin up. I'm not going to do it too violently, just kind of pin, and then I'm going to go over the eyebrow just like this, and even grab and pinning up that eyebrow. Okay, So I want to really get that lift. Everything I'm doing is going to be a little more pressure on the way up. On the way down, I'm just keeping contact with his face because we don't want to pull the spa off of the face. It breaks the current. And I'm going to spend a lot of time under the eyes. And I'm going to work, kind of my strategy on this is I go down to the smile line, back up to the crow's feet with a little pin, and then I go nice and slow under the eyes, outside in. What that does is it kind of irons any of those bags that somebody would have. It would iron it right into a lymph node that is where the nose meets the cheek, and then down to the smile line. And then I kind of repeat that as well. And all the way in. So I like to spend a lot of time under the eye, right? So now we kind of got his whole face covered. The treatment's over, and that's level 1. Okay. So I just finished level 1, and when you hear the 3 beeps in a row, that means it's over. Now for me, I'm a tall guy, so I like to do this method here with the handshake, and I can see over because I'm tall enough. However, if you're in a position where the chair is too high, or you may not be as tall, and it's hard for you to see, then you can figure out a different way to do it. Maybe from the side, however it is for you. Maybe you can hold it here and do a side view, or whatever it is that's comfortable for you. I've seen people do it different ways. I just like to do it that way. Okay, so now what happens is I'm just going to have him, Brett, go ahead and wipe off some of that gel. Now you don't need to get it all off, it's not important. Just kind of wipe it so it's not so drippy. That's pretty good. Alright, and I'm just going to go, it's not important for them to get all the gel off, for the clear gel. I'm going to go right into the same technique we used before. The machine's not going to be on. I'm just going to spread the blue vial on. Now this is the ageLOC. This is the good stuff. Alright, so I'm just going to spread that on. And with this ageLOC vial, there's a couple of choices you can have. You can use level 2, which is going to be a 3-minute treatment of ageLOC, or if you want to treat yourself, you can use level 3. It actually gives you 5 minutes on the machine. So if you're in a hurry, or if you want to do the basic treatment, you'll use level 2. If you want to do a little bit longer on level 5, just to give some more time, or on level 3, I'm sorry, for 5 minutes, to give some extra time, you're welcome to do that as well. So once again, Brett, we're going to do the same thing we did before. I'm just going to go ahead and spray the machine, put it in your right hand, right back into your cheek, same thing, hand it back to me. Right there, right into your cheek, nice and firm. Perfect. 3 beeps, got it, and hand it to me, beautiful. And now you can relax. Okay, so here we go, we've got the ageLOC gel on now, and we're going to do just basically the same thing. I'm going to go back down to the neck, I'm going to work on it, and you can ask people too. Like I like to ask people where are some of their areas of concern might be on their face, and they'll tell you like, hey, I hate this line right under my eye, or I hate this line here on my smile line, and that'll give you an idea of really where to concentrate, right? So I'm using upward strokes. I'm going to use that horseshoe method again that I do around the mouth, and if they've got like a lot of lines in here, I'll really kind of take that and pin it up. Again, I'm going to spend a lot of time on the smile line. I really want to get a great result from that smile line because it's very apparent when you do that. And I'm going to work a lot around the eyes. So I'm going to pin up there again by the crow's feet. I'm going to use the under eye method all the way over to the nose and down. And you can even go back and just hold it under the eye. I like to be very careful under the eyes not to get it in their eye because it's uncomfortable to kind of have the spa around their eye. However, you can be careful and really get a good result. I'm going to go back over the eyebrow, really work that eyebrow, pull it up. And then once I've kind of hit every area that I wanted to hit, I go back to under the eyes and really work those, and I go back to the smile line, and I just spend the rest of my time there and lifting around the crow's feet. Especially if you have someone young, the best thing to do is focus around their eyes, because they're not going to have a lot of wrinkles to take away. Again, I'm kind of ironing the t-shirt upwards, and on the way down, I'm just maintaining contact. However, I don't like to spend a lot of time way on the outside over here. I like to spend most of my time on the inside because that's what they're going to see when they look in the mirror. Okay, and so that's the end of. Okay, so now we just finished the part two, the second treatment. So we've done the cleansing step, we've done the ageLOC step. So now what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to say, okay, Brett, go ahead and take off that gel now using your upward motions. So one thing I can do too is to help him get the gel off if he's still got a lot of gel on his face. I can explain a little bit about the NaPCA Moisture Mist, how water actually dries our skin out. This actually brings moisture from the air back to our face. And so I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to give you a few pumps here, Brett, and that'll help you get the rest of the gel off. So go ahead and close your eyes. Okay, I'm going to wash the rest of that off.
That feels nice.
So now what I'm going to do, Brett, that we finished the treatment, I'm going to give you an experience of one of the products we have called Face Line Corrector. This actually comes with the spa kit. It's something that you can use every day. So you use it on certain lines. So I always put it for people on their smile line, and I'll put a little on for you. Just like that. Again, I'm using my ring finger, a soft finger, and I'm also going to put a little bit under your eyes. All right. So this is a product that you can actually use every morning and every night. That's when I use it, and this helps work on certain lines that you have on your face. Okay, so we've got the line corrector on. So the next product we're going to use, Brett, is called Future Serum. This is part of the transformation line, our daily skincare line that has that ageLOC technology in it, and Future Serum is really the all-star of that group. So this is the compacted, it's got the highest percentage of ageLOC of any of our products, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit on for the right side of your face.
Okay.
Again, remember, you're dealing with people's faces here, so you want to be nice and gentle. Kind of give them as much of a spa experience as you can, especially be mindful of getting things in their eyes and in their mouth, right? Because you want to make it a pleasant experience for them. And then last but not least, we're going to use the Tru Face Essence Ultra with ageLOC. Now this product is one of our highest retention rate products, and it was one of our best products for years. In fact, has the only ingredient that's been clinically proven to regrow elastin in the skin. That stuff that makes our skin snap back, right? Well, now we went and upgraded it. We put our ageLOC technology inside. So it's the same Tru Face Essence Ultra with ageLOC now. So this is really a super product. And so it comes in a little bead just like this, or they're affectionately called the pearls. And what I'm going to do, I just break it open, and there's serum inside of there, enough for your entire face, but for the sake of the demonstration, we're just going to do half your face. Okay. Okay, so now I've given him an experience of not only the spa demo, but also the Future Serum and the pearls, so it gives me a little bit of a point to talk about those two products as well. And now he's had a super demo, and we're going to wait about 10 minutes, and then we're going to take a look at your results. Kind of, we say let it marinate a little bit. However, you're going to see these results kind of build over the next 24 hours, and your skin will actually be up to 70% more absorbent for the next 24 hours. So if you do have a favorite product or something else you really like, this is the best time to use it, is after we do the spa treatment.
All right. And then what, during that 10 minutes, how do you usually fill that time?
So during that 10 minutes is a great time, since they know that I'm not going to give them the mirror yet for 10 minutes. Now, I wouldn't take it back from somebody or keep them from going to the bathroom to look. However, I use that time to go over a little bit more about maybe the compensation plan, or a little bit more about a few points I haven't touched on, maybe the company, because we're really just buying time, right? So it's a great chance to show them. I love showing the compensation at this point. So they've just had an experience of the product. Now you go through the compensation plan with them. They go back, they get the mirror, wow, the results are great. They're thinking about the money you just showed them, and they can start really putting 2 and 2 together. So now it's been about 10 or 15 minutes. We've gone over the comp plan. Maybe a few have answered some questions that he's had. Now it's time to actually check out his results. However, I don't want to put all the emphasis on the vanity point of his results. I want to also ask him how his face feels, and does it feel clean and tight, things like that, because that's also a really big part of this this whole process, is the cleansing, is the moisturization. So, you know, Brett, before I give you the mirror, you know, I'm curious, how does your face feel? You know, give me a little experience of that.
It feels fresher for sure. Like it feels like I can. It's almost like when you put menthol on, like I can feel it breathing. It feels a little warm too, but yeah, it feels. It's smooth. It's nice.
Yeah. Okay, great. So a little tighter, a little cleaner is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Nice and moisturized. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go ahead and give you the mirror, and you can go ahead and start taking a look.
Okay.
So one thing to remember at this point when they start taking a look at the mirror, although we want to point out all the things that we see and start pointing at their face, it's really, I think it's important to let them be the ones that tell us what they see, so that I'm not, you know, forcing them to see something that I see. So I would say is, so Brett, let's, I like to kind of start at maybe the bottom near your mouth. What do you see as a difference between one side or the other? Do you see anything differently?
Yeah, the smile line definitely is a little lighter.
Yeah,
it doesn't go down as far as it did before.
So one smile line maybe a little deeper than the other.
Yeah.
How about around your eyes? Do you see any lifting or any more clarity around
It's less puffy over here.
Yeah.
For sure, I usually have like darkness under my eyes, so it looks a little less puffy over here.
Great. And especially if there's someone else in the room that they know, like if we're at their home and maybe his wife is there, I'll say, okay, why don't you turn and look at the third party, and then I ask that person, what do you see on Brett's face? That's where I seem to get the biggest reactions, like, oh my gosh, yeah, wow, I see this, I see that. And that makes a big difference to the person that just got the demonstration, because now they see a third party validation saying what's different on their face, and it can really be powerful. So that's kind of how we do the demo, and from start to finish.